Morning everyone, hope you're all okay. So it's Sunday morning, it's still pretty early and I'm going live on YouTube. It's my first live video on my channel. So I hope you're all well. A couple of reasons for going live at the last minute. One, I recorded a video to upload this morning and then we had some friends come round yesterday and that turned into a few gins and didn't have time to finalise the editing. So that video will have to come next week. And then also woke up this morning and I was having my cup of coffee and it was like 5:30 a.m. And one of the admins on the Property Investors Group UK, which is a group I started I think 5, maybe 6 years ago, just hit the 20,000 mark, which is a great result and a huge achievement for the group, and a huge thank you to all the members and all the admin who have been responsible and helping manage that group. So why have I gone live on the Sunday morning, specifically about networking and that group and overall? And I thought it would be good to upload a video and a great time, a great opportunity to talk about why I created that group, why I created the NPN, the Norfolk Property Network online group, and the physical networking meetings. And I think the reason why is something that gets missed quite a lot. So I remember 2014, I was doing okay in property. I was using my own funds, running out, could only do like one deal at a time, and knew that property was going to be the way that I would create something for my life and create more income. But I was getting really frustrated because I just didn't know how to buy more properties or make the most out of each property. And then I started reading and I started networking and learning about different things, you know, HMOs, working with investors, working with lenders, all different sorts of things. And it was really sort of the first quarter of 2014 that I kicked off what is my property life now. And that year was a pretty good year for me in terms of learning. And I think before that year, I hadn't read a whole book all the way through. And reading massively changed things for me because I started reading books, digesting the information. I couldn't leave them alone. I'd pick up one book and I'd finish it in a few days, which was just pretty much unheard of for me. And I was doing a lot of networking. I was going to different branded events. But there was one thing very much in common that I was seeing, was that you had to pay to go, and when you were there, really the ambition of the event or the host or the company was to try and sell you something. And they made no bones about it. There was no hidden strategy. It was very clear. You pay to go there, and then you either buy books or buy CDs, DVDs, or courses and mentorships. And that really didn't sit well with me. One, I didn't want to sign up for anything. Two, I didn't want to be sold to. I was there to network and listen to the expert speakers. And the speakers actually didn't give much value, one or two maybe out of all the events I went to. And the host really wasn't a host with experience or substance. They were just someone who had paid to be a host, which again didn't really sit too well with me. So I remember getting towards the end of 2014, and by this point my brand, Grace Charles Property, was established, and I started to work on the first few joint ventures that I did. And at the time I was very busy, very focused on my job and very focused on my property business and starting that off. And one of the things that I wanted to do, which was different, was I wanted to create an event, create an environment, and create a way to do all of this without a direct source of income, to really get the sense of what value the networking and listening to speakers and speaking to people can give. And the only way to really do that to understand the true value is to make it all about the value of the content and not the income. So when I decided to create the Norfolk Property Network and the Norfolk Property Network Group online, and then very soon after that, Property Investors Group UK, it was all about a free environment where people could come from any background, any level of experience, any company, and feel safe enough to ask questions, network, and not be ridiculed, not be trolled, and not worry about who they're going to upset or whether they're saying the right thing. It was just a completely different environment. And one of the reasons for this, where I got this from, is in my job when I worked for a company, which was a great company, my boss allowed me, he created the environment for me to thrive, and he sort of let me get on with it. And I did very well for him and the company and myself. And I wanted to take that same philosophy, if you will, and create an environment. So the environment didn't do anything apart from allow individuals to grow and improve their own sort of property businesses or whatever. And that's exactly what happened. And 5 years on, Norfolk Property Network is the biggest property networking event in Norfolk. I think it's the only one left. There was 3 or 4 at the time when I started it, all paid for, all very driven by sales funnels, which this has none of. And what I didn't realise was what I was creating was what I call an indirect source of income, and an indirect source of leads, and an indirect source of network, power team people that I would work with. Because when you create the environment directly, you're not earning anything out of it, which is absolutely fine. That was my goal. It wasn't to earn anything, it was just to try and get as much networking as I could. And the group was very similar online. I wasn't happy that the bigger groups online were linked to training companies, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they were always driven by that brand. And then some of the other bigger groups were just playgrounds for trolls, and they were adminned, and there were groups colluding in the background to basically attack others, because people believe that by attacking others, that builds their own credibility. But that is a very, very short-lived way of building your own personal brand. So I created the 2 groups, the Property Investors Group, which was one that I thought was going to be for everyone, and then the MPN, which was really just for the group, the local group of attendees to obviously engage in online. And both have grown massively, but the Property Investors Group one, that hit 20,000 this morning, which is a fantastic achievement. And you know, we probably decline, I would say, 80% of the requests. They look like fake profiles, or we're blocking people because they're posting spam or porn or whatever. And that's all really good. But going back to what I think where the substance in this video is, and what the message I want to give to everyone watching is about the indirect source of income, or networking, or deals, or whatever it is. Indirect. Now, what do I mean by indirect? So at the moment, deal sources and rent-to-renters are kind of the swear word in the property world, because there's so many new people jumping onto that segment of the property market, and they all do the same thing. They all jump in with 2 feet, and 18 months later, they've gone, and there's a whole new band of people doing the same thing. And the message is always very clear. They want to get a deal, sell it to you, get an income, and go, and leave you to the deal. And that is what I would call a direct source of income. Now, one of the consistent messages that I say to anyone who asks me what I would do now if I was starting again, or what help and advice can I give someone who is starting out brand new, is if you find a good deal, is to be a part of that deal. Don't worry about earning a small fee, because when you become wealthy, or when you become established in property, the fee that you think is a good fee now is pretty irrelevant to the wealth that you can create through property. And And it's that mindset which is why there's such a high churn rate, because people may earn a fee and then the deal goes wrong and then it's not worth the hassle, so they disappear, or they actually never sell a deal. But if they find a good enough deal, the deal will then attract the right person to work with, and you won't necessarily earn from that one deal, but what you will gather in experience, credibility, is going to be worth so much more to you. And the same goes to, is said about networking. And just got a duck under a tree. Not a good idea to walk up the hill, actually. Makes you out of breath. Having the networking events did start to bring me people that just wanted advice. And it did start to bring me people who wanted to meet up for a coffee and discuss what was going on in their lives and what was going on with their deals. But it did start to bring me deals that people had found that they couldn't take forward. It also started to bring me people that I'd got to know, become friends with, and then they wanted to become an investor with me. And I never set up the events to do that, but the indirect spillage, ripple effect of doing that started to build this funnel of people and deals for my business that I hadn't expected. And it was worth far more than any leaflet drop-in or anything like that. So my message, the reason for doing this video is, if you are just starting out or you're just kicking things off, don't be worried about the direct source of income straight away. Don't worry about what's in it for you. The amount of people within the first couple of sentences say, here's X, Y, and Z, but I want this. Don't worry about it, because what you will get from the indirect source will be far more better for you in the long term than any fee. And the Property Investors Group UK hitting 20,000 people. Have I ever had anyone message me and say, love what you do, Dan, here's some money, I want to become an investor? I think the answer is probably no. Have I ever had anyone message me and say, I've got a deal, Dan, can I give it to you and we'll work together on it? I think the answer is definitely no. But have I engaged with people within that group over a sustained period of time, over different matters and different subjects, which has led to them becoming an investor, or which has led to them bringing me a deal? The answer is absolutely. So, don't worry about too much making a quick buck with a small fee. Concentrate on building wealth and how you are going to do that, and reverse engineer it back. And when you understand the goal, everything else is a means to an end to get there. If you can help people along the way, if you can give value to others along the way, you will always get paid back indirectly for that investment into other people. So that's it from me. First live video on YouTube. Sorry it's so early. Sorry I was a bit out of breath walking up my hill. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great Sunday. I'm off to play basketball with some old friends later on today, inspired by the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. So time to shake off those cobwebs and get playing again. But I'll catch you all on the next video. I've got 2 videos to come over the next week. Both very good. One I was hoping to upload today, but wasn't quite wasn't quite edited in time. Don't forget to do me a huge favour and smash the like button and hit subscribe. that helps the YouTube algorithms, and it helps my videos get to the top of the search engine. So it's a massive help towards my channel. And if you keep doing that, I can keep uploading these videos and giving you this content for free. But that's it from me. I'll catch you all on the next video.